Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it is your man, Jelani JB, coming to you this Wednesday night, hump night, once again on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. We ready? Are you ready? All this stuff going on for the weekend, the solar eclipse and all that other stuff. It's so much, so we might as well go ahead and get into this. Let's go!
I'm solo. I like the finer things, I like to party. Bring out the liquor in, get up a Bacardi. I'm in a different place, it's getting blurry. I'm spending money like it's nothing. Pull up in foreign stunting. When you gotta know it's nothing. The way they looking at me, yeah, I love it. I see all eyes on me. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the slick, I wonder if you wanna party. Tryna get it started tonight. Party tonight. Tonight, party tonight. Oh yeah. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the slick, I wonder if you wanna party. I'm about to get it poppin'. All these niggas out here thottin', and we just tryna have fun. Watch me shake that ass, boy, you better throw them ones. All these niggas wanna love me and touch me, but I always been the judge of my case. I came up here to party, Bacardi got me really in here losing my brain. Catch me chillin' with my blood, catch them slippin', pick on my. See, we came in a club to have fun. Go drip it on Morris, I swear we never slowing up. Pull it up. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the stick, I wonder if you wanna party. Tryna get it started tonight. Party tonight. Tonight, party tonight. Oh yeah. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the stick, I wonder if you wanna party. Oh yeah. Come take this ride with me. Staying down all night. I'll give you what you want. Whatever you want. I'm solo cupping it. Yeah. I'm doing what I want. Hell yeah. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the slick, I wonder if you wanna party. Tryna get it started tonight. Party tonight. Tonight, party tonight. Oh yeah. I knew it from the start. You like the way I act, so I try to play the part. I'm tipsy off the slick, I wonder if you wanna party. Oh yeah. Okay.
It's the Wait a Minute show.
This is a podcast.
Is this thing on? The mic is lit. Faro Gyro.
Kick my music.
Bruh. You done lost your mind. Ain't that right, Lil Pan? Really? Wait a minute. Just a question. The Wait a Minute show with your host, Jelani Bodie. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 7 days and we are back once again tonight, hump night. Again, I'm tucking in with your sports fix. If this is your first time listening to the show, let me introduce myself. I am Jelani JB Bodie, host of this thing called The Wait a Minute Show on the 2 Live Stews Radio Network. And tonight, like always, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to try to keep it very interactive, very entertaining, but also keep it real and keep it positive. None of that negative stuff up in here. None of that, just negative stuff. None of that negative stuff. We're going to keep it like we always do. And I'm glad everyone is joining in tonight. Got a lot on the plate. We had an eclipse. We had new stadiums opening over the past weekend. I mean, we all know about the news yesterday. I'm going to get into that a little bit later on in the show. We are really, really close to this NFL Week 1 regular season. And like I've been doing the past, 6 weeks, we're going to go ahead and get into another NFL division review. I give you my picks for how I think things are going to play out this year. And tonight's division is going to be the NFC East. Yes, that's right. Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, and Eagles. So, got a lot more stuff to cover as well. We'll get into boxing, fighting. We got Floyd Mayweather and all that stuff coming up. Gail Cotto, which nobody is talking about. But so much stuff going on. So we'll just really just get started and get into some of the shouts out. Well, no. We won't do the shouts out right now. We'll get to the shouts out in just a second. But I see the folks that's in there as well. So we will start talking sports in just a second. But I wanted to just bring this thing up about the eclipse because everybody made such a big deal about it. And it is kind of a big deal. You know, it doesn't happen too often. It's not like once a year or anything like this. So they're saying maybe we won't see another one for maybe my life here on Earth. But it was a cool thing. It was a cool thing. People took time out. They put it on the news and all this stuff. Here in the ATL, we got to view, the solar eclipse, not like some other cities and states that got a very, very, intense dark. It got dark. Here in Atlanta, it got pretty much, if you've seen the movie Blade, the first movie Blade, how everything was, it seems like the city was just gray, kind of like, dim, not dark, but dim. That's how it was here during the solar eclipse. So it was a nice little cool thing. Everyone looking up. Hopefully nobody went blind or anything like that, or people calling out the next day, I can't come to work because, my eyes, did the chronicles are really, it caught on fire and it exploded and all this stuff. So the eclipse, cool thing. Very, very cool thing. I'm glad I got to see it. I'm glad I live, and I'm glad I was able to talk about it. But we'll get off that. We'll start getting into some of these sports topic. And the first one that we're going to start off with right away is this whole protest, against the anthem, if you want to call it a protest, or, players in the NFL that have not been standing. They've been choosing either to kneel or to sit, raise their fist, whatever it is, that they have chosen to do to raise awareness, for social injustice going on in this country that we live in. And so we had a lot of people that have, chimed in on both sides, and both sides made very good points about what they are, interpreting as. But I think the biggest thing is that we always get one side. Someone that feels so strongly about it, and then someone that's like, okay, I get it. Here's where I stand, but, they're not really meeting at middle ground, if you will. And I think part of that to get this thing really moving like people want it to and make a movement on it is that you're going to have that dialogue. And I think that will come eventually. I hope it does, but I do think it will come. But what's been going on as of late, Malcolm Jenkins, safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, he has been showing his support for, Colin Kaepernick and social injustices going on in America by basically having a fist in the air. He's not he's not sitting or he's not kneeling or anything like that during the anthem, but he has his fist raised, and we are starting now, ladies and gentlemen, to get additional participation, but that participation is coming from the Caucasian folks out there, white folks, whatever it is that you want to, call it. Chris Long, a fellow teammate of Malcolm Jenkins, decided to join in as well. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to wake the kids up on this, and y'all know what I'm talking about that listen to the show when I get the kids up. I want to give it up to Chris Long. Kids, get in here. I want to give it up to Chris Long because here's the thing I've been talking about. I've been talking about there has to be a way, and I didn't have the answer. I never said I did. I was just reaching out. Maybe someone else had the answer. And I think what he did, it's not just one correct answer or anything like that. It is just the right thing. It was one of the right answers that you could do. And what he did, if you haven't seen it, was he stood right next to Malcolm Jenkins, put his hand over his heart, but also extended his hand on Malcolm Jenkins' shoulder. And what I got from that, what I truly got from that, and what I saw, I said, I get it. I get it. What he just said by his gesture is that I view this flag, maybe a little bit different than Malcolm Jenkins, but I respect that. And I'm going to join in, but I also is going to let everyone know that I also feel a certain way. And it wasn't disrespectful on either ends to me. And that was a really good moment. It was really good to see that, because let's be serious, ladies and gentlemen. To a lot of people say, you're going to have to get more black NFL players. No, you're going to have to just get NFL players. And that includes the white players. They say strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. If you have numbers, people will pay attention. So for what Chris Long did, I'm not saying that he, stood up there and held the flag for white people, and all that stuff. No, I truly don't, believe that. I think what he did was, hey, I'm white. I do have, a certain avenue or a certain angle. As if I do this, people will pay attention. So I'm going to use it. But at the end of the day, I'm a man, and it's something that's been going on wrong, and it needs to be pointed out. Shannon Sharp was on Undisputed, and he was very upset at Pete Carroll and Jason Garrett, and it was one other person, John Lynch. He was he was heated. And I think where he was going with it through everything that he said, he was basically getting out that, look, there's a situation that's going on, and you guys are acknowledging it, but you're not speaking about it. It's one thing to acknowledge it, and it's another thing to speak about it. And that flag, which I'll get into a little bit later, but I was at a Braves game, that flag during the national anthem, everyone stood. There was nobody, sitting or anything like that. And that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all. But I think where people is missing the whole thing about why folks like Malcolm Jenkins, why people like Chris Long, why people like Colin Kaepernick, why, people like Eric Reed, Brandon Marshall, the Brandon Marshall for the Denver Broncos,